StarCraft always gets me excited, mate, especially when someone is a very good gamer. That's right, down here in the bottom right side, representing Good Game Gaming, this is Cyan.
And in the top left, what do you get when you put two edgy fantasy creatures together and then put the word gaming in the end? You get Dragon Phoenix Gaming, and their player is Jieshi. Cool to see him still around. Don't hear a lot from Dragon Phoenix Gaming these days.
Dragons, Phoenixes, Gaming, it is a fantasy conundrum and a whole bunch of awesomeness. They have a great roster, of course. But, Jieshi here, I really have my eyes on him. What's he going to do? How are both players approaching this series? Now, we always talk about the races in StarCraft and kind of their defining features. Zerg is reactive, right? Terran is just about clicking on heads mindlessly, microing your units. Protoss is the strategy race, Maynard. It's all about your big brains. You don't have as many things to click on because your units are much more expensive. You can queue up, all your buildings off a single worker, that sort of stuff. But it's very much always about the strategy, and mirror matchups in general are about the strategy. When you're both working with the same tools, you have to have a deep understanding of how to leverage, of course, identical toolkits, and then where you want to create that asymmetry and push ahead and where you put your investment. Now, Cyan's already invested in the pylon on the natural expansion, and there is going to be a much later zealot for Cyan, interestingly enough.
Yeah, just not really pulling the trigger on that one. Felt like he just wanted to wait a moment to see something in particular and then queue up that zealot.
I think he's going to cybercore block as well. I think he just realizes that maybe Jieshi does not like to actually block, so he's just going straight Stalker, straight Stargate. I think Jieshi knows this about Cyan. He says, no, I saw you mining gas, like, so much, dude. And still trying to block here, but the Nexus does finally go down. Stalker will get the kill, so Jieshi is down with the slightly quicker Nexus. Actually, quite a lot faster. A second Stalker before Nexus. Cyan! My lord, that's quite the delay on that. Of course, he's got the Stargate. As long as he gets the Nexus before queuing this. Wait, where's the pylon? Cyan's forgotten his pylon! Oh, okay, he does start it. Okay, if that was any later, it would delay the Oracle so much.
Yeah, a bit of an awkward macro snafu there for Cyan. It is going to give him maybe like a couple seconds of delay.
Yeah, it's not too bad. It was like, if it was any later, it'd be bad, but that's fine. That's like 3 seconds is not a big deal, right? It's, wow, very late Nexus though, so interesting to see what the Oracle can get done. 3 gateways for Jieshi after Nexus, and he's not probing. Jieshi is going for the fake expand into aggression. Well, he definitely needs to pull back from here. Oh,
yeah, he's taking a lot of shots there on that Stalker, and there is a shield battery. Yeah, really wanted something to happen there, but...
Is that a probe just to the north? Is he about to build a pylon here? Yeah, yes. So he's going to build a pylon and warping off the 3-gate.
Oh, he nearly lost his Stalker there.
Yeah, does want to save the Zealot, but he can stop on that high ground and ambush Cyan if he wants. Cyan greedily chasing him will get the Zealot as a payoff for that. And if he can distract the Stalkers and keep them at the front, that's a huge win, because then the Oracle can go past and kill a lot of probes.
That's right. All of the eggs are not in this Stalker basket. He's not pressuring here. He's trying to distract Jieshi. The other resource in StarCraft is attention. Oracle rolls in, no shield battery, no pylon. Yeah, good defense though. It's one probe and that Oracle is basically dead.
Oh!
Now it literally is dead.
I really felt like Jieshi, actually, the 3-gate was defensive because he didn't know if there was a Nexus or not. And because of that, I felt like Jieshi actually had not the greatest build because his tech's so late. And that sort of stuff, he kind of misread things, I felt. But he did actually, he did actually basically go back into probes. He's now got the Twilight Forge. He kills the Oracle. He's up in workers. I think this works out just fine for Jieshi. He's going to have very late tech, so Jieshi here is forced to take a quick third. That's his only viable play.
That's a lot of Stalkers. That is a lot of Stalkers.
Oh, yes it is. Battery. He doesn't have overcharge. I don't think he has energy right now. He's been chrono boosting probes. Oh no!
Oh, Jieshi's attack here. Definitely catching Cyan with his pants down. And his Stalkers are putting a lot of damage into those probes that just got drilled out of that natural. I mean, he can just kill the probes and disengage, or maybe he can continue to pressure this. The shield battery's out of juice.
Oh, so, I mean, this push made no sense unless you know your opponent really well. And this tells us that Jieshi knows Cyan has a habit of cutting those gateway units with this sort of build. So the moment he knew there was an Oracle, he'd killed the Oracle. He went like that. But there's a second and a third Oracle that's going to do counter damage. Maynard, you can tell these guys have played over 50 competitive tournament maps versus each other because the mind games are unreal. Nobody goes 3 Oracles in PvP.
Yeah, man. These 2000 IQ tricks between each other. They just know each other so well, and when you know each other so well, you can trick the other player so well, which is weird, and it's sort of like doesn't make sense, but at the same time it does. We've got the 3 oracles. Well, one of them's dead. These 2 found insane damage. 13 probes going down for Jieshi, which has honestly offset a lot of the damage he just did with that stalker attack. That was such a brilliant move from him, and the board is kind of reset a little bit here. In fact, I would even say that Jieshi may be a little behind.
It's my favorite kind of PvP, Maynard, or match in general, right? It's messy weirdness that cancels each other out a little bit, and they end up in a similar position where, you know, yeah, Jieshi's a little behind on the workers, but is getting the faster third, the faster upgrade. The 2 oracles still being out is the real scary thing because it forces Jieshi to be in a very defensive stance. Cyan has quite a few more options and is going to pair up 2 adepts in the natural with the double oracle. Ooh, so much potential. I mean, if Cyan could do a blink attack on the 3rd at the same time, force Jieshi to pull some extra stalkers, the oracles and the adepts could do even more.
Yeah, once again, attention is another resource there, and Jieshi is trying to make sure that these oracles are dealt with, because he doesn't want to have another flyby like that. That would almost certainly be game-ending. Cyan moving out with these units over here to the watchtower. Looks like he's flirting with the idea of going for a poke at the 3rd nexus.
Ooh, charge immediately for Jieshi, not wasting any time getting into that. Cyan not probing up right now, neither is Jieshi. They're both locked on 45 workers, apparently respecting each other a lot. The stalkers on the top there coming in for the distracted depth shade into the natural. This is a distraction move for Cyan, his favorite move. Remember, he was destroying earlier on in the group stage with these adept tactics, doing so well with them. But here we go, the stalkers all one-shotting some units there as well. The oracles, though, they did not do anything during that, but they're following up in the natural.
Yeah, the adepts got dealt with. They got 3 probes, not too bad. These oracles are far more threatening in my opinion, though. Jieshi in position, not going to be bamboozled this time.
Oh, those stalkers, man, they are hungry right now. They'd like some pickoffs. Probe rally would be fine. Individual stalkers that they can one-shot would be fine. And there is still the Oracle threat, so Jieshi, he's just trying to survive right now. He's very worried about this situation. He's got to always leave those stalkers in his natural, and he's been really good about that. He has always left his stalkers there. His main is unguarded right now from those 2 oracles, but as long as he knows the oracles are down in the bottom, he's able to leave that. He now sees the oracles have moved on, so Jieshi does need to reinforce that main base in case the oracles rotate.
He's getting locked down here for Jieshi. Moving on to the middle of the map here, Cyan has that high ground. Jieshi, though, quite a bit of firepower, and he actually loses one of his stalkers and then pushes forward. Cyan takes 6 o'clock with this nexus. His charge is done. Both players now with charge available. Jieshi powering ahead pretty hard with these upgrades, though. Like, I would hate to see these gateway armies mix together. I mean, with Cyan not going to have a whole lot of chance of winning a fight if it's just gateway units against gateway units. However, if he throws in disruptors, that could be a different story.
Yeah, I like this way of playing where you get a much quicker 4th and then you just go second robo bay. Disruptors don't care about upgrades as much. Obviously, I do think a Forge could be squeezed in there. I think Cyan's having trouble judging the situation in the game right now. Definitely needs to be warping in more Stalkers. When +2 kicks in, that is going to be a pretty massive advantage in the Stalker versus Stalker fights for Jieshi.
Oracle's flying over 12 o'clock here. Sharking around for 3 o'clock. There's a cannon in position. They don't have a ton of energy on them, but they don't need much to get a few probes here.
1, 2, 3. Oh, they go for one more and they will get punished. Oh, no, a bit slow on... Oh, okay, I guess those guys blinked up from the 3rd. So they did have blink off cooldown, fair enough. Stasis traps are everywhere here trying to protect this area. Jieshi, I don't know if he could have defended his 4th base. Cyan, sorry, I don't know if Cyan could have defended the 4th if Jieshi had have pushed into there. It was just kind of sticking out with no stasis traps in front of it, so I don't think Jieshi realizes that 4th went down quite so quickly.
Oracle's getting recalled here, and it looks like they're going to be set up some, or rather being brought home to set up some stasis wards. I think Cyan might be realizing that he's down quite a bit in army supply here. He needs everything he can get on the front line. This stasis ward, the observer helping him see that stasis trap. In comes the Nova from the high ground. Oh, good snap blink there from Jieshi. Great attentiveness on his army.
That natural, though, that natural is exposed. Those stalkers can shove in there. Oh, my lord.
Huge blink. Massive play from Jieshi, the brass cojones on this fine gentleman. Nova comes out, but the Disruptor gets gunned down by that Stalkers. Another one to the north side. Blink has been used. That one's going to kill a ton of Stalkers. Is it enough to make a difference? The Immortal's being force fielded out on the ramp.
Zealots warping in is good, but yeah, those force fields on the ramp are brutal right now. So many probes have gone down, and Jieshi with a crisp mass +2 blink timing. Warp Prism flies on in and gets sniped down by Cyan. He is starting to get the Immortal in there. The Zealot warp-ins are, of course, very effective versus these Stalkers, but they get the Immortal down.
And another Nova. Blink has been used. 4 more Stalkers go down.
Man, Jieshi has done massive damage, but I don't know if he's going to be able to overwhelm. More Zealots warping in on the defense, and remember, there's no offensive warp-ins into the battle. This may be an overextension for Jieshi if he stays too much longer. And good dodge. He withdraws on the front. Those Stalkers are going to recall out of there. Time to go home, Jieshi.
Yeah. He doesn't want to head towards overextending here. He's already... Oh, man, these Stalkers need to get out.
That was... Oh, he was microing them on the control group because there was stuff happening on the watchtower, right?
Fair enough.
He was clearing up a unit there. I was like, why is he not blinking those back since he's stutter stepping them? But he was just... he was using them as part of that other army. Jieshi's got a massive lead off that. He's still got the +2 advantage and 4 more gateways, Maynard.
He does indeed. Big advantage for Jieshi right now. He's just much bigger than Cyan. He's more powerful. He's got better upgrades. He's got much better economy. He's dealing with the stasis traps very nicely as well with just taking one Blink Stalker into each one of them. Taking out that shield battery, just chip damage to Cyan. This is all stuff that Cyan really can't afford to lose. Every single blow to him is like, ooh, it hurts. But Jieshi's like, I'll lose a Stalker, 3 Stalkers, 4 Stalkers, no big deal. I got way more where that came from.
Oh, nice. Stalker rotate. You don't want to get too caught up down here, but I guess if you've got the numbers... Oh, he has just so much more. It doesn't matter. Yeah, he can just dive on it. Warp Prism arrives now. The double Oracle's like, hey, we've got to do something, man. And they will come in and kill a few probes, but it's not enough.
Yeah, 6 probes is all well and good, but unfortunately he needed to kill more like, 26 probes to actually hurt the back end. And even then, it feels like Jieshi, even if he lost all those probes, even if he lost 30 probes, still has a big enough army to potentially close this out as long as he can mitigate those disruptors.
Jieshi's coming in for the finish. There's only 3 disruptors in there. Zoning shot goes out. Does force a defensive blink from some of those Stalkers.
Yep. A bunch of them still have it off cooldown. Right in the back. Good hit on those Zealots. Kills quite a few of them. But again, the numbers, man. The numbers, Mason.
Oh, my lord. More disruptors are coming down, though. And he's going to keep looking for those zoning shots, but that Stasis Zealot sees you, mate.
Oh, my God. That aggressive blink. That aggressive blink.
The Zealot saw it. Beautiful split. I like it, man. I think he could have maybe even got both disruptors if he went a little deeper. Stasis Trap on the natural is going to create a nice little Zealot force field, but not completely stiff. Oh.
Not completely stiff indeed. I think stiff might be the chances for Cyan here as Jieshi is still knocking on the front door. He's losing his supply lead. That Disruptor Nova, and that Disruptor Nova, not bloody bad. Man, Cyan is doing everything he can with everything he has right now.
Cyan playing like a god from here, but he's just too deep, man. It doesn't matter how hard he paddles, how furiously he tries to swim through these waters, he's going to get dragged under.
Yeah. If he's up a certain creek without a paddle right now, that's for sure. GG. Jieshi takes map 1. Nice start for this fine gentleman. Damn, that was a good PvP for him.
And he was taking the logical 5th base in the top right corner of the map there at the very end of the game as well. So just a casual corner base going down. If you are playing Mass Zealot Stalker, that sort of thing actually can be quite effective. You just expand in one direction along the map and it works out okay. But a really good way to start the series. Jieshi came out and it was like, I really did not think a 6 Stalker pressure would work. I still feel like the 3-gate was in response to the fact that there was no Nexus down and he felt a little bit worried. But we saw that even though it looked like, oh, you can't really do much with this 3-gate, he said 6 Stalkers poke the natural. Oh, you've only got 2 Stalkers and a Zealot and no battery overcharge energy. So, you know, a lot of Protoss players, they feel like, hey, you can't do anything. Battery overcharge and even half the gateway units holds on there. But you have to not be too good at macroing. You got to save the chrono boost energy.
Yeah, that's right. A little bit of an unfortunate there, hindsight 2020, but it does have plenty more maps to come back for it. So let's see if we can get ourselves a bit of a competitive series here. We're going to take a short break. When we return, Jieshi versus Cyan, game 2. We'll see you there. G'day StarCraft fans and welcome back to the DreamHack Masters Chinese main event here. And of course, I'm Maynard, with me is Pig. And we are in the midst of our first best of 5 for the evening. One of 2, unfortunately. Not a very long broadcast. And it is between Cyan and Jieshi.
Heck yeah, man. Very fun first game. 6 Stalkers kill like 10 probes, 2 Oracles kill like 13 probes, but some upgrades and a little bit more fluid movement on the macro, and the extra Oracles and Adepts being invested into. They got a worker advantage for Cyan, but it just turned out that he was a bit too far behind on the gateways and the production. Those early 3 gateways, the masses of units coming out there for Jieshi was just fantastic, dude. He really dominated the mid game. Got the +2 upgrade. No upgrades for Cyan. I wonder if that's going to be the style he plays today, or if this was a one-off.
Yeah, I mean, you could see the plan there was to just cut back on the upgrades and go into disruptors instead. But I was looking at his bag during that game and thinking he could still do all of that and still keep to the plan of the disruptors. But, you know, that's kind of splitting hairs. He's always going to be a better player than I ever will be, of course. In the top right here, this is the man I'm talking about, of course, the man with the plan from Good Game Gaming. He is Cyan.
And in the bottom left, representing Dragon Phoenix Gaming, the blue Protoss player. This is Jieshi. Gas goes down just slightly later for him, but basically the same build order. It's just there is an early worker scout for our blue Protoss Jieshi, not for Cyan. So Cyan is happy to just kind of chill out, maybe scout after the second gateway, or maybe not at all.
Okay, a second gateway scout is going to be on the cards here for Cyan. I think that makes sense. The good thing about the 2 gate is I think it's sort of like it's kind of like the 1-1-1 for a Terran, you know? It's an all-rounder, and if you're under attack, you can make something happen with that kind of setup. Like, I'm just talking about just your infrastructure, of course. What you get out of those gateways is very, very important as well.
Sentries, very good for scouting and also expanding, because you can scout so you can defend attacks coming once you react
and
to
hallucinations, of course.
And they cost basically no minerals, right? Nexus is very mineral heavy, so it kind of meshes very well. Stalkers are the more all-round, and I guess Adepts are what? Cheeky harassment. Well, it looks like a pretty committed proxy for Cyan. He has not scouted at all. The thing is, Jieshi saw a probe leave the base. He has not seen a probe arrive at his base. He also hasn't seen a second pylon in the base, so it's quite obvious that Cyan is up to no good.
Mm-hmm. Yep, certainly seems like it. And I mean, that's the wild thing about PvP is sometimes it's just a pylon hidden out there anyway. But this one is a lot more sinister. There is a Stargate right next to it. Jieshi still making sure his area around the natural and main is clear.
Well, here we go. Stargate is going to be finishing in the near future. But Stalkers are coming out for Jieshi. Only one Stalker so far for Cyan, just to clear that pylon up and allow him to potentially expand behind it. 2 more Stalkers, so Stalkers 3 and 4. And it feels like a very safe setup for the Blue Protoss player. 4 Stalkers into Twilight even before Nexus. Oh.
And we can see that Jieshi's pathing was not going to scout the Stargate. It's very deliberately placed in a spot that you would have to click there to find it. Jieshi is really hunting, though. You know, he again did notice the missing pylon, does think something is up, and it looks like he's just about to scout it now.
He sees it. Very nice. Spots that. Should be able to send all of his Stalkers into his base. Not towards the Stargate. Greedy boy. Okay, he's splitting him. 2 to the base, 2 to his own main. His battery is not ready in time. Are his Stalkers going to get there? It looks like just barely. The 2 Stalkers should beat it.
He should.
He
might still lose a probe, though.
Yeah, they're out of position. Very lazy from Jieshi here. Oh, my lord.
Oh, wow, dude.
Oh, huge mistake. Huge mistake for Jieshi.
Cyan could even loses the observer. Oh, fuck, the oracle. There we go. I did it. Third time's the charm.
Our brains are atrophying. We are old.
I have gray hairs on my face and also in my brain. He kills 6 probes, and I think an oracle dying for 6 probes is still fine. You know, that's a lot of damage.
Yeah, he loses the Stargate though, right? So it's good damage this early for sure, but I don't think it's game ending. Both players are going Dark Shrine, realizing no one's going to have detection in this game. And, I mean, Jieshi's is slightly earlier. He doesn't have a forward warp-in point just yet, but I think he's moving a probe out now. And there is a probe for Cyan in the bottom of the map as well. Jieshi's building a robo. Cyan is not. And remember, Cyan's Stargate got depowered. This might actually be a winning situation for Jieshi. If Cyan doesn't go for that robo soon, he's in big trouble.
Yeah, absolutely. There's detection on the way for Jieshi. Neither player has detection right now. Detection is on the way for Jieshi. Literally no detection for Cyan. None even coming.
Yeah.
Again, the Stargate is dead. No oracles. No robo in production. No hope of an observer. No forge, no cannons.
He's thinking all offense. Cyan here has identified that DTs are so good here, which is absolutely right. What he hasn't thought about is the fact that, you know, Jieshi might think the same thing. He's only thinking the offense. He starts a robo as the DTs are warping in. Oh, man. And it's exposed on the low ground. There is a battery there. This is going to be super duper dicey. Cyan's DT Shrine also finishes. He's warping in a Dark Templar. He does find the pylon, so that might make him aware of what's happening here. He's got to react so fast. Oh no, he doesn't see them. He hasn't noticed. Okay, now he does.
He might have just noticed there that his pathing got messed up by the invisible unit. Goes for the wall off on the main base, but the natural is still exposed. The shield batteries will not save these probes. They're getting one shot by the invisible man.
He's going to start clicking the robo, but there's a battery there. So I don't think you can kill that, especially if Sentry's warping and force field those DTs. So by the time with battery overcharge, you can save the robo, right? It does need to finish before you can heal it. Uh-oh. Hello? Battery overcharge?
There he goes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you don't see the laser. Something discovered, but it is charging it. You see the health points going up.
Oh, there's 2 DTs in here as well. He's already denied so much mining time. This is huge damage for Cyan. Yes, he's taken a lot of damage at home, but I think he's got an observer out of his own. He's cleaning up the DTs. Cyan, wow, good handling. And I do think going for that robo, a bad call for Jieshi. When he saw the battery there, he should have known that was not going to work.
Yeah. Man, this has been a bit of a dumpster fire for both these players in this game. Both of them trying to go for strategies that seem really good on paper. Execution hasn't really worked out as much as they would hope. I mean, for Cyan, that counterattack of the DTs went very well. Oh, he's dropping Shadow Stride as well. DT Blink on the way for him. Gonna get stylish.
That is a very effective ability, especially if you use it to blink up the cliff into their main base. But since Jieshi's looking for that triangle third, it won't be as effective. And taking out the gateway is very nice. Stargate got repowered, funnily enough, on that left side, so if he wants to, he could squeeze his Stargate unit in. Cyan's up 6 workers right now. Same army supply for both sides. Jieshi, don't start a Nexus. Here come the Stalkers.
Oh, they're coming. Lord, they're coming. Similar armies for both players. A lot of Stalkers here, so third Nexus, absolutely no chance in hell. And Cyan disengages. Oh, never mind. There we go.
Oh,
takes a few shots and then disengages.
Got DT Blink halfway done. Third Nexus is on the way for Cyan. It can't go down yet for Jieshi because he's under a bit of pressure. He actually could take it because Cyan's not reinforcing, but he does not realize that. Does take the third base. He's reprobing back on up. Cyan, no forge. He's making 3 more DTs. As I say it, he drops a Forge. Okay, caster powers are real, Maynard.
God, we are nailing it. I think this might be our best cast ever. That's really, it's up there with the one where you disconnected for 80% of it.
Yeah. Top tier, mate. Well, it is going to be Blink DTs just going in, looking for the kills, then maybe blinking out. If the Stalkers can harass one side, the DTs can harass the other. It's a very volatile style that Cyan's playing, but a very fun one.
Yeah, definitely an entertaining game. I feel like the sloppy weird games.
Oh, into the main.
He's gonna blink into the main.
Yes.
Let's
So
go.
sick,
I love
man.
it. Oh yeah.
And you wait for DT to cool down before you start hitting the probes as well. You wait for the blink to come off cooldown so you can get out of there. Recall should be available as well. And look at that, DT is in the mineral, and he actually takes down the battery first. Funnily enough, that's. Oh, he's going for the Nexus snipe. What?
I mean, the Observer's getting recalled here too, right?
Yeah, he's got to get out. This is no. You definitely don't want to go for this. That's a crazy move, right? Definitely. Oh my God, force field. Oh!
I just sat there forgetting that I was supposed to be casting. I just had my mouth hanging open like a dunce.
Oh man, high risk, high reward plays coming out for Cyan. He's still getting little bits of damage. He gets the Observer there, which is very cute, and more DTs. But his Observer's pulled back accidentally. He needs those. Oh, wait, he's got one in there? Oh, my God. He had high ground vision. Oh!
Oh, man, what a game.
Oh, Cyan, dude, what a legend. He's just doing the craziest plays right now. Blinks into the main 2 times in a row. He even kills the Observer. What a savage dude, and I think Jieshi's got to be super annoyed by this. It feels like you're being played with when someone does this to you, man.
Oh man, it's so frustrating. Oh man, I'm losing it.
Cyan's given us the best moments of this tournament so far.
Yeah, I love this. This feels like a new version of Cyan. Like I know he can be very aggressive and a little bit cheesy. But he's normally like such a late game macro dude. Like he's so good at it. And this tournament, he's just like, nah, I'm gonna be a Neanderthal.
I'm gonna take your gold base. Yeah, dude, he's embraced the ape.
I love it. Yeah.
A lot of people out there are all trying to sip their tea, tip their bloody top hat and their monocle and stuff. I really feel there is a power to embracing the inner ape inside all of us as StarCraft players, and I feel like Cyan is just bringing out the fun, cool, stylistic plays, and he's making them look fantastic.
It was like, maybe he had to sit down with Parting at some point, and Parting had like his black robe on with his hood, and he's like, have you heard of the power of the dark side? Could bring back your loved ones. No one has to die. And then Cyan comes back months later. He's got like red glowing eyes and his black hood, and I'm like, Cyan, what happened to you?
Oh my God, he's got a 2-sided lightsaber scythe here. He's an invisibility cloak, and he is just unloading some savagery on top of Jieshi, man. Cannon will go down in the main, the natural domain in the third, all getting ransacked at once.
You know what, Pig? I love all races, but sometimes it feels good to see a Protoss get Protossed. You know what I mean?
I know exactly what you mean, Maynard. Same thing a lot of people feel, I think, when they see 2 Zergs just smashing Banelings into each other and murdering each other.
I'm like, now you know how it feels.
Get a taste of your own medicine.
That's right.
Bloody beautiful game by Cyan, mate.
Cyan's lightsabers are red, and that's how we know he's a bad guy.
That's true, mate. That's true. The red ones usually are the nasty ones. Red ones do stab faster as well. Apparently going to be the saying of the Protoss army in that case. I do want to point back, though, to the fact that Jieshi clicked on the robo with a battery next to it. You can't do that. It don't work. There's a crucial moment in this game because he was quicker on the jump to get the detection. But then while he was doing that, he actually didn't have an observer at home and, of course, was so focused on his DTs that he let them slip in. Looking at the early game, you know, the Oracle did some damage, but I don't think it was that decisive by any means. But it was definitely when these DTs went in and Cyan realized so late, his robo was so late. If these DTs just keep going for the probes, it's huge. I mean, that is not blocked from walking to the main right now.
Yeah. These DTs of Cyan, they're like, on paper, it felt like they were a good idea. Shadow Stride also just like, yeah, it's stylish, why not? Didn't expect them to be effective. This is brilliant for the defense of Jieshi, but no one expects The second blink up into the main base, he probably thinks you know, everything's been pushed back. He won't try that again. That's too expensive. He already lost 5 DTs to just get hit points off my Nexus.
Even I was like, well, how? But there was an observer set up in the pervert mode up to the left in the dead space that was just giving enough vision of the cliff to allow him to do it. So Jieshi was like, oh, no, I saw your observer leave. Like, it shouldn't be possible. But there was a backup observer, of course, just sitting off in that dead space. And dude, I love it because I really feel like a DT arriving in your base unexpectedly is so powerful. How many games do we see where a player loses to a warp prism with 4 DTs, just drop on the cannon in the main and then warp in some zealots or whatever? It's just crazy hard to deal with. Terrans have dealt with it as well. You know, all the other races have. So the way to do that where you blink inside the main, I mean, this is something that SOS was one of the first players to harness back on Blackpink up against Ryung, I want to say. I think Ryung it was, or maybe Alive. I think it was Ryung. And it was just like, you know, he literally warped Dark Templar across a gap into a Terran natural base and then started blinking them up and down cliffs all game. That was the first time we saw it. It took a few years then until Nightmare did the Zealot DT blink all in. And then a few years later when people realized, hey, blink DTs are actually just amazing in every single matchup.
And then the legend, the god classic, hit the Chin himself. Blinks DTs into the main base of Rogue, who was ruining 2019's BlizzCon with non-stop Nidus all-ins and swarm hosts. He was the bad guy, and Classic's like, I've got this. I'll take him down. Goes in for a solo mission. And with style, too, in Game 5 of a tournament that would have been a $10,000 match that he did it in. A map, because it was the match, it was the ace match in a $10,000 series. Blinks into the main base, snipes the main hatchery, and just completely cripples Rogue. And I'm like, I'm going to love Classic forever. I don't even, if he goes to the military and never comes back to StarCraft, I'm still going to be singing his name as one of the greatest.
I'm with you, Maynard. We had a map pool that was way too good for Swarm Host Nidus, and the Swarm Host was, and the Nidus, sorry, was just super broken as well.
Yeah,
remember?
had that really fast burrow with like really hyper armor.
You'd kill the Nidus, and it would reset the cooldown, so they could immediately put another one. So you'd get punished for killing Nidus worms quickly. It was like, it was the worst. But anyways, let's see what other tricks he can bring. This has already been such a fun metagamey PvP between these two. In the top right, representing good game gamers all around the world, this is Cyan.
And in the bottom left, representing dragons, phoenixes, and gaming, this is Jieshi.
This high ground gateway's hanging out, looking all good. And remember that the inclination that we thought from their map picks was that Jieshi might be a bit more comfortable with the one gate expand style of maps. And he did win that first one. And then Cyan a bit stronger on the 2 gate maps. That being said, Jieshi did not go for the 1 gate expand on this map without the ramp. He's still he's not doing the straight up max packs 1 gate in all and every condition, nothing like that. So Jieshi's still playing rather standard PvP in that regard. He's also been, I feel, a little bit more scouting and reactive focused, as opposed to Cyan, who's opened up. It feels like with a build that he was kind of planning to hit for the first few minutes, no matter what, right? The Stargate in Game 1, the Proxy Stargate in Game 2. So Stargate seems to be the one central feature of Cyan's PvP.
Yeah, seems to be a fan of it. I mean, when you see 2 oracles roll into a main mineral line, you see how effective they can be. It's hard not to be seduced by the power of the Stargate.
I think Cyan's going to cancel the Stalker. No, he's not. Okay. So I thought he was going to cancel the Stalker to put the Proxy down there. He's kind of acting like, hey, this pylon might just be a fake. But it is actually still, once again, a Stargate. Okay. So at this point in the best of 5, you got to say, if he keeps going Stargate every game, I mean, there's definitely a pattern that's been identified. Oracles every single game. Oracle, Oracle, Oracle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they can just be so effective. I mean, they can also, they're also an investment as well. Like, don't get me wrong, it's not free damage when you go for Oracles. It's actually very far from free. Oracles are quite mineral and gas expensive, considering the, you know, how fast you rush them. And keep in mind that, you know, 150 is also being invested in the structure that they come out of, and it's on the other side of the map. Very risky.
Indeed, indeed. And the Stalkers are going around. It's a nice quick Nexus. Honestly, I don't think Oracle's that scary if you've got units in position. It's just, hey, is he one base all inning? What's he doing, right? Jieshi doesn't have that information right now. He's out here hunting for it, and he's going to get punished.
Cyan with the, oh no, a single stalker. I'm so defenseless. Whatever will I do?
Yeah. Well, 3 stalkers for Jieshi looking for the ambush on the 4 stalkers of Cyan. Luckily, they missed that ambush in the grass. Oracle is going to be coming out momentarily. Jieshi, he's got to recall back to his main. He could kill a probe or 2. I mean, this could cause some damage, but Cyan's going to dive in, and that Oracle in the chaos could be devastating.
Yeah, right now as Jieshi, you're going to be like, wait, what? When you come up into a main mineral line like that.
No! Oh no! That could be game ending. These stalkers are going to just dive in here, man.
The Oracle doing its thing. It does drain the shield battery. It does slightly hurt probes through the shield battery.
Oh, okay. Does recall his stalkers home now. 7 probes ended up going down, though. Yeah. And these stalkers, even though they killed the sentries, they didn't actually go up the ramp. The force field scared them off. One of the stalkers went down, and
yeah, advantage Jieshi for sure.
Yeah, right now it is, but only right now, Maynard. That's 2 oracles. No, what are the stalkers doing down there? Get to the main base.
Get to the main.
Get to the main. The lasers are here.
A 1-to-1 impersonation.
Perfect.
Of Arnold.
That's exactly how he sounds, meine Liebchen.
Man. And that flyby was what Cyan needed to reset the board once more. It was advantage Jieshi until that moment.
Yeah, still looking decent on the probes for him, but it's not over yet. These stalkers are getting hungry, man.
Hungry stalkers. They kill that shield battery. There's no static defense here. There's a fast warp-in location, but can't overcharge anything, and then the unit count really matters.
Did every stalker just leave the main? I think Jieshi pulled every stalker out of the main just then. So I saw them walk down the ramp. Okay, he's walked in.
One is not enough.
Oh no, Jieshi!
Oh boy,
he's been so lazy on his Oracle defense. This last game and this one, 2 games in a row, where it really is all about the Oracle defense. He was so on point in game 1. Game 2 and Game 3, Jieshi's been slipping up despite having enough units to defend, and it's partially because Cyan's so good at threatening the front and scaring him and just getting him to move his units, even though he doesn't need to.
Jieshi's had enough, and he's setting up a gateway on the other side of the map here to go for a high gateway count, well, relative to this phase of the game, high gateway count blink attack. To punish Cyan for his sins. Could definitely work. I mean, when you're going Stargate, you're putting resources into units that really suck against Stalkers. So, you know, they're good at harassing, they're good at scouting, all that sort of stuff, but as far as fighting units, they're not that amazing. Coming back into the natural again. That time they get caught. That's better. There we go. Nicely done, Jieshi.
He's got 2 adepts on the right as well, does Cyan. So Cyan's like, okay, let's take a third. Doop-de-doop. He just needs to turtle and survive. But he doesn't seem to realize that's the case. He's only got 3 gates. He's looking for the third next. Does he see the gateway? I think he saw the gateway just then.
Yeah, I think so as well with the probe.
Oh, that's huge.
Yep. Sees the gateway. Shield battery time. Amass the units.
Yep. Extra battery. Make more stalkers. Cyan needs another pylon as well. The Oracle comes in. Can't really do anything there. Adepts will go in, but 2 stalkers should be able to defend that decently.
He's got an overcharge.
Oh, he needs to pull the probes. Those probes need to be pulled yesterday, mate.
Yeah, and the overcharged shield battery gets gunned down. Another warp-in coming in for the north side, giving Cyan what he needs. He's chasing down the hurt stalkers.
Bad target fire there for Cyan. Obviously trying to multitask a lot. The Oracles and the Adepts managed to get 4 probes. Jieshi's economy very bad right now. Cyan just needs to keep warping in units and making pylons as well. Obviously, extra gateways coming in right now. Did he just warp in more Adepts? Oh my god, Cyan really wants to just keep ruining Jieshi's economy rather than just focusing on the defense.
Well, Jieshi depowers 2 gateways here. It's going to be harder for Cyan to defend here. Goes for the force field, and it kind of misses with the blink of both of them, but Cyan loses more. Well, doesn't lose, but keeps more stalkers in the main base here. His natural's got these shield batteries still.
Yeah, those batteries are doing so much. I don't even know if he used... he did use overcharge, but it will be coming back up in about 20 seconds, I think. These 2 adepts are going to go in towards the main base, and they definitely could find some damage in there. 2 adepts in there. Stalkers are ready on the D, though. Pretty good handling by Jieshi, but Jieshi now taking a 3rd and a 4. He's thinking about the transition, but he's down on Econ.
Love to see the probes killed if we can. Insane's... oh my god, yeah. So it just goes to show you that, you know, with Cyan only being up 5 workers, his economy was really bad at the beginning there, but he's done 22 worker kills.
Well, we've got the Immortal finishing up now for Jieshi, definitely helping defend a Stalker counterattack, but the Forge is not being ignored this time for Cyan, so he's not going to lock himself in that no upgrade style from game one. That was a one-off rare occurrence where he was skipping upgrades for the Disruptors. This time looking for the counterplay. Stasis Trap could be big in this sort of scenario. Remember, the Nexus does not have good vision.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so the Stasis Trap could be very annoying if Jieshi just sort of goes, and blinks into this army, because he does have a lot of Stalkers here.
Oh, this is a really weird movement by Cyan there. Oh, okay.
Doesn't catch as much as he would like. If he caught like that ball of units on the right side with the Immortal in it, he could have absolutely killed this Nexus.
Gets a Stalker, loses a Stalker. Jieshi not giving those away for free. The Adepts just never stop, dude. Cyan did this in the group stage and he's doing it again. Cyan is just the Adeptor, man. He is just always throwing these Adepts in constantly in this matchup. He's so annoying. I love it.
Yeah, they are flinging their laser glaives at these poor defenseless probes. That's 26 worker kills now for Cyan in this game.
55 workers to 47 in favor of Cyan. He's making that charge transition himself, adding some gases as well, so he'll be able to go in towards the Archon tech. Jieshi is, of course, still stuck on 3 gas, so for him it's going to be a bare bones, just Stalkers, just Immortals, very basic army. So Zealot Archon counters the army of Jieshi very well, if you can get up to those upgrades in decent numbers. But that is a big if. As we can see, the army supply way ahead for Jieshi. Big army coming on forwards. Cyan's going to have to use that defender's advantage to hold on here.
Trying to take 3 o'clock as well. Jaishi's not worried about that. He doesn't want fringe bases. He wants to go for the throat. Getting the 3rd base would be lights out for Cyan if he can get that. Well, Immortal advantage for Jieshi. Looks like he's actually got quite a few army units over Cyan, actually, but attacking into this location is very tough.
Charge only now starting up for Jieshi. He does add a few probes, which tells us he feels like he can't necessarily just break him here. And man, headbutting into battery overcharge usually not a great idea. So taking the 4th probably is the correct call. However, remember that Cyan already had those gases going this whole time. He's got the Archons coming in. Cancel on the 4th would be huge. Cyan anticipating this. He's moving down. Can he defend it?
All right, going for the 3 o'clock. Lots of Stalkers here for Jieshi. A charge is done for Cyan. That could definitely be a great addition to his army. And he's got Archons. Big advantage as far as tech's concerned for Cyan.
Wouldn't mind a few more probes and more upgrades coming in for Cyan. Jieshi, of course, with the aggressive stance has kind of scared Cyan a little bit. But now Cyan realizes, okay, all right, my turn to get aggressive. But wait, this army's still on this side of the map. And oh, wait, that was Cyan's probe this whole time? Oh my god, that's hilarious. No wonder Cyan realized the army was moving around. He was literally holding the watchtower the entire time.
Jieshi missed it on the way up.
I guess because he went through the rocks, so that does make sense. He never cleared the watchtower. Cyan's done a very good job of controlling that. He's got batteries going down on the 4th. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, okay, it's pure Stalker, so he's got to be a little careful about bleeding Zealots into it. Run by on the left side, though, is coming in. Cannon and battery ready for it, though.
Yeah. These Zealots should be dealt with pretty handily there, and they are. They just run away there. But we do have the phase of the PvP that everyone loves, especially the players, and that is bowling time. Robo Base finishing for both players. A second Robo going down for Cyan as well. It's going to have an advantage.
Maynard, it's dodgeball. Bowling, the target is not moving, right? It just sits there. That only happens versus Terran players. Versus PvP, it's dodgeball.
Imagine if you could blink in dodgeball.
Imagine if Terran Bio could blink.
Oh my god.
I'm just gonna blink 8 Marines up into your main base. Definitely Metavacs might become a bit obsolete. Just YOLO the bio everywhere. DT Shrine coming in. Cyan's got the Prism as well. Cyan's setup is just a bit more tech heavy, a bit more well-rounded. But Jaishi's not far enough behind that this is a foregone conclusion. It still comes down to the engagements, and so I really feel like the vision is something that I'm most looking forward to. Unfortunately for me, you know, my preview is a little grainy, so I do struggle to see which dots are which color on this blue map.
Yeah, it is a little tough. I'm with you there as well. Bit of a battle here at the watchtower. Jieshi bounces before the Disruptors are here. I'm not sure if he knows that they're here just yet. I'm not sure if he saw them. We do have this Prism going out now, so Jieshi is about to take the... Is that Cyan taking corner right?
No, yeah, yes it is. Cyan, not Jieshi. Okay, Prism going in the bottom is going to be big. It feels like Cyan has so much map vision, and that's what's giving it the opportunity to do this. The Disruptor punishes. Got to be careful with those blinks, mate.
Gotta be careful. You blink in, sometimes you don't blink out.
Fifth Nexus is coming up in that corner, as you pointed out. Warp Prism speed coming in to complement the Observer speed that Cyan's already got. Cyan adding all these nice little things. I definitely do want to see Blink DTs come out, and he does win the first Disruptor trade. Of course, whoever fires first, if both your Disruptors are in range, will be the one that wins that trade, as its shot will explode first and cancel the other ones out.
That's right. It's kind of like those old West duels, you know?
Yeah.
Like
Quick Draw.
Ever seen The Quick and the Dead? What a great movie.
That's a great movie, mate.
It's amazing. Yeah.
I rewatched that on a plane recently. Yeah.
The Archons at the front taking a bit of a lick in there from those Stalkers. We've got a big counterattack from Jieshi up to the north-left here, so we're just heading up to the 12 o'clock location now. Prism going towards the main. Looks like Jieshi sees it, starting to warp in defensively. Should be fine here.
Ooh.
I don't know if Cyan will be, though.
Says, okay, let's just defend with the Disruptors and get the big old Stalker run by going Stalkers. Don't have the highest damage, though, and there's no Observer with it. Oh, no, get out of there, get out of there.
Remember us.
Uh-oh, and he's going to get cornered potentially as well. Cyan's like, nah, mate. Don't get cheeky with me.
It's the same 5 DTs from the first game. It's the Nexus squad.
Oh, no!
They're about to get Shadow Stride as well.
Oh!
Holy Stalkers! Stuck between a rock and an invisible DT. Oh, my God.
Oh, man. The Grim Reaper cometh, and the Grim Reaper takes what he wants. Oh, my lord. Jieshi taking some massive losses. He's going to try and counter push in the bottom, but he's lost so many expensive Stalkers. Somehow his supply is ahead of Cyan's right now.
He's got a lot of Disruptors.
Ooh, that's a lot of cannons as well. They might be able to hang on with the Warpin on that side. Disruptors do take out the battery cannon. Ooh, good first shot for Cyan, but he's going to lose control of this base.
He certainly is. Going to be a hard one to keep track of here, as there's a lot of action happening on the map over at 9 and over at 3 o'clock.
Oh my. Okay, time to get out of there for Jieshi. A good withdrawal for him, but he's lost that base on the left side because he doesn't have an Observer there, so no way to deal with that. He does recall an Observer. Oh, right side of the map. He's going to have to throw the balls. Balls. Whoever throws first wins.
Oh, no.
Ooh, okay. Both sides take some
first.
losses there. Cyan did throw first, but didn't connect with all of them. Did take some losses as well. 14 probes went down for Jieshi during all of that. Remember, Cyan has the bottom right base. Right now, Cyan feels worried about that. Jieshi doesn't know about it, though. So it is actually fine. You can just be okay as Cyan. You've got your Stargate transition starting now with the +1 air weapons. You are still a little up in economy and supply.
Once again, Cyan shoots first. DT's coming back. This time, Jieshi is repaired. Deflects the men with the capes.
All right, I'd like to see Cyan rotate Dark Templar and go up the guts into the natural. I think
Cyan's
that would be the winning angle.
Cyan's going, yeah, double ship weapon upgrades. He's got double Cybercore, and he's going into Tempests.
Okay, that is definitely overshooting for where we are in the game. The armor upgrades are not that important on Stargate units at all.
He's like, you have carriers now, right?
It's like, definitely not. Tempest is something that Showtime used to favor over carriers just because they can pick off the units from out of range. And it is very cool. You can like pick off their disruptors, right? I don't know what the number is, probably like 5 Tempests to one-shot a disruptor. So there's a point there where you can actually just force your opponent to engage. And anytime anyone engages into disruptors, we know how that looks. So a few Tempests to start is good. I do think carriers are a much better unit for being well-rounded, though.
How do you feel about both players getting observer speed here? I mean, Cyan's already got it.
So worth it, man.
Yeah,
it's all about vision in PvP and Disruptor Wars, because vision tells you where to put your attention at what time. If you don't have vision,
oh my god,
you know, there's always people like, wow, this guy's so bad, you know, and it's like, well, the other guy has 90% of the map vision the whole time because he's been ahead. You know, it's always massively favored the guy who has better map vision. So I do always feel a little bit bad in a you know, very limited vision RTS game when I see the casual fans berating a player who just doesn't have any of the tools and the other guy has all the advantages, but they're like, well, this guy's just 10 times better. This game, it was mostly Cyan who had the vision, but Jieshi's done a really good job of fighting back. He's got these observers out here, and Tempests are very fragile. They will just drop like flies if the Stalkers get underneath them.
Yeah. They are here for Cyan to, you know, obviously they are an anti-disruptor countermeasure here. They have insane range. And considering he's got a lot of observers, been making observers 2x2 in these robotics facilities, and he's been spreading them out, with the vision advantage, these Tempests have got full access to their range. So these Disruptors become harder for Jieshi to get, you know, any use out of, basically.
Stalker for a Tempest, good trade for Jieshi there. Jieshi, he should go for more run buys though. I think if you fight front on into this, it can get very dicey. Cyan's supply, his army looks really weak right now. I think he's got way too many Tempests. A few Archons or Zealots in there would really help round out this army. You need something with actual damage output other than the Disruptor, just to make sure your opponent can't dive on you with, like, say, Mass Zealot Archon. Because right now, Mass Zealot Archon actually wipes Cyan's army.
Certainly does. It's like Cyan's actually breaking off a few units that he feels like aren't super useful anymore and sending them over on a mission to get rid of whatever Jieshi remains on the left side of the map.
Oh, Cyan's getting trapped. He's getting baited in, man. This is a trap. He's getting baited in. Oh, Jieshi. No, why is he pulling back? He had the perfect angle.
The Disruptors of Jieshi shoot back from bottom right here. Get some damage. Cyan still has most of his Disruptors. He's lost a ton of probes in bottom right. But he didn't get sandwiched yet. It looked like Jieshi was going to be able to pick off everything.
Yeah, but he pulls back from the Sanger. 5 cannons and a few batteries down there. Disruptor shots. Ooh, one good hit does land, but man, I don't know, dude. He's got a warp in on the top left. If he doesn't defend that base, he's in huge trouble.
I feel like Cyan was doing amazingly until the Tempests. It's like once he's done that, he's like lost a little bit of his footing. And now they're starting to show a bit of value, so the Disruptors aren't as fast as the Stalkers. And on the tail end, they're getting picked off.
Yeah, I mean, Cyan and Showtime are like the 2 Protoss players in the world who will argue for this being the better option. He's now building carriers. It is something where when everything goes right, it does look superior because it just ekes out value over time. But perfect StarCraft games are not exactly a dime a dozen, Maynard. They're very rare, and we can see.
Oh my god, these Disruptors! Oh, Jieshi.
Ooh, but the Disruptors have now used up their spells. Good quick recall on the Tempests. Only manages to kill one of them. But where did he recall to? Bottom right. Okay, I mean, they can help defend maybe, but he's got no damage output. Like I said, Zealots counter this army so hard. They can ignore the Tempests and just jump on top. Once the Disruptors are gone, the Stalkers will clean up those Tempests. The problem with this army is it's countered by tier 1 gateway units, Maynard.
Well, actually, Pig, the Stalker is a tier 1.5 gateway unit because you need an extra structure to build it.
Oh my god. Maynard there with the voice of the army of mass virgin stalkers there, just letting their particle disruptors go.
The ladder ranking says that these players are 5,600, but it feels more like 5,400 to me, Pig. I've seen enough games. I haven't played since Wings of Liberty, but you know, I'm just looking at these plays. I watch 400 hours of Twitch a month, all right, Pig? I know exactly what I'm talking about. You don't know anything.
And that was, let's be real, guys, an incredible comeback. As much as, yes, the Stalker's a 1.5 tier unit, I'll admit it. But, dude, Jieshi came back in a game where he had no business coming back. What the hell?
Yeah, and a great comeback there from Jieshi. It felt like Cyan really had the boot to his throat. He was doing an amazing job in that game, and then started to make some odd decisions. I can see, you know, I get the theory. With the Tempests. I loved his choice to go into like you know, into Archons, start throwing them in, and I like the idea. You know what? I actually would have liked carriers a lot more there. I know that they're more expensive, but yeah, I like the carrier, and against that kind of army, I think like Stalkers have a harder time getting it down. The Tempests are just made of paper. They really do fold quite fast to you know, just like you said, the tier 1.5 Stalkers.
You got to have a fighting army underneath it, right?
Yeah, like
eight Stalkers and 5 Disruptors doesn't cut it, and he was splitting off his army to counterattack the top left, which is what Jieshi should be doing, right? Jieshi should be the one splitting off and avoiding the front-on fight versus this like technical Tempest. But those Tempests, like you said, dude, there's such a supply dump. Where were the Archons? If you have a pack of Archon Zealot underneath that, plus the 6 Disruptors, I can get behind the Tempests, and as a front-on style, that definitely does make sense, but I think Cyan messed up his composition. And also, let's be real, mate, when you're at 150 supply, maybe 160, you've only got 70 workers, you don't have any bank. Is a second Cybercore and Plasma Shield upgrades important? It should be the last thing on your mind. It is the least important thing. He rushed those upgrades as if this was a really turtled up, like 90 probe game. And I do think Cyan got a bit ahead of himself in that late game transition. And let's be real, carriers is a much easier army. Where if you're using carriers, I think you can have just a handful of Stalker Disruptor on the ground, but not with Tempest. So definitely a bit of misplay from Cyan, and he does let an advantage slip away once again, playing a weird style though. So shout out to Cyan for bringing the fresh, the Blink DTs, the Tempest late game. Who knows what else he's got in store for us.
Yeah, I can't wait to see what more he has in store for us, but unfortunately, we do have to take a short break, guys. When we return though, it's going to be game number 4 between Cyan and Jieshi. Don't go away. We'll see you there. G'day, mates, and welcome back to the DreamHack Masters Chinese main event here for the Valencia summer season. We are still in our first best of 5 because it is going to the 4th game. Can it go the whole distance? Pig? I think so. I think these guys are pretty closely matched.
Heck yeah, mate. I mean, I think you can see the history between the two and how these games are playing out. And StarCraft gets weird when you have practiced against a player a lot or you've played against them a lot within your region. It develops into its own little microcosm of a meta where strange things happen. I always think of the sound of Artosis' frustrated voice trying to break down a GSL finals between 2 Jin Air players. And he's like, well, Maru should win. And nope, he sees the Master Roach. He's gonna move out and lose his whole army. Oh, cool. It's fun when teammates play each other because they make decisions that make sense.
Yeah.
You know,
it's like they don't. It's like they have map hacks, even though we know that they don't. It's just because they can see in each other's brains.
Yep. And you're like, oh, no, this is the meta move because sometimes they show this, but they're actually doing that, and then it's this instead. Well, it gets confusing. It's very hard sometimes to understand because the players are just so deep on that meta game. They're trying to level each other. Up here in the top right side, though, he is in the lead and only 1 game away from making the upset happen. This is Dragon Phoenix Gaming's Jieshi.
And over in the bottom left here, from the Good Game Gamer crew, it is Cyan. Now, what is that sneaky little structure Jieshi's built up in his main base, Piggly Wiggly?
Oh me, oh
Cannons!
my. Here we go, right in vision. Okay, immediate probe pull, but only 4. You gotta pull more than 4 if you wanna stop this. You gotta pull a lot more than 4. You need to pull 10 probes at minimum. He's only pulling 7. Cyan's doing the pro gamer cannon rush response. For those who don't know, pro gamers suck at responding to cannon rushes. It is known.
That's 10 probes.
Okay, he's got like 12 now. That's really good. That's really good. If he just splits up the focus fire, he can defend this. He's got a Chrono, a Zealot. Immediate Zealot Chrono. Now his job is he's got to depower this, right? Because he's going to try and power it with a cannon from the high ground. You need to pull more probes and get that pylon on the high ground down. There's going to be a pylon up on that. Wait. Why is he not building a pylon? Hello? Jieshi?
Hello?
Hello? The cannons are going to be depowered. He didn't start a pylon. Oh, well, he had the money as well. Big mistakes from Jieshi, mate.
Yeah. There's no pylons here, right?
No, that's it. Yeah,
that's it. Okay.
As long as that pylon gets focused down on the high ground as well. Yeah, this is a huge mistake. He was sitting there with 170 minerals for a good 5 or 6 seconds. I don't know if it would have necessarily helped. Cannons will come up for a moment, but as long as you keep focus firing, which, oh my god, he actually let him rebuild 2 pylons on the low ground. Will they get up? If one of these gets up for even 5 or 6 seconds, it could do big damage, but no. Jieshi messing up the cannon rush, and remember, there's only one thing worse than pro gamers cannon rush defenses normally, Maynard, and that is the execution of the cannon rush itself.
He should still depower it here. That's what our cast has become.
That was actually a really good D by Cyan.
Yeah,
so I criticize because a lot of players just don't pull enough probes, and you see what happens if you pull enough probes there. I do think he should have had a probe on the high ground patrolling much earlier and harassing that to try and stop it from getting that pylon on the high ground and delay it as much as possible, which is obviously where Jieshi had the opportunity. But if you pull enough and you get surface area, even if it's fully surrounded, you don't need to kill the cannons, because if you just kill every pylon powering them, then the cannons do not function.
Yeah, exactly. The defense here from Cyan definitely, I mean, it impresses you, Pig, which is the most important thing. But secondly, he lives and defends quite well with a lot more, going for him back at home. He can send those zealots across the map now, pressure Jieshi a little bit, maybe force him to make something he doesn't want to make back at home as well.
Yeah, Jieshi, because he got those cannons up and killed 3 or 4 probes at the end, it wasn't as bad as it could have been. But it's still awkward. But no, he's got a cannon and a zealot. He could come back from here. Oh, he lets him in. Oh,
okay. Well, he has to wall off here.
Yep, and the probe will mineral walk out of there. And this zealot says, you're trapped in here. No! Cool micro from Cyan. Very nice.
Little round goes the Rosie there.
Yeah, it's still up 2 pros to the Stargate and a Nexus, though. I mean, yeah, it's an epic lead. For Jieshi to come back from here, like, he needs to do some Omega Brain stuff, so... Yeah, no, it's worth. It's all right. He can't really kill any probes. You'll just pull your probes, pull back the weak one. Good micro from Jieshi. Let's see it. Pull back. Yeah, very good macro. But Cyan's doing a good job of distracting. Oh, and he's gonna get a probe. Oh, Cyan's out microing Jieshi, mate.
Unbelievable. He's gonna get another one.
Oh, you're kidding me. Oh my god.
Zealot's a Chad.
That Zealot, you know he's sticking up his middle finger over his shoulder saying, see you, nigga. He's just like, oh my god. Twilight Council's on the way for Jieshi, dude. So he's gonna try to go into one base Dark Templar because, yeah, that's
Hell
what you
yeah,
do when
man.
you're bind.
That's whenever the strategy's weird in these PvPs. It's like he's going for this because I'm just saying because hell yeah, that's why. Because hell yeah, dude.
But he's so dead, dude. It's like you could have two oracles pitting you on one base against the two base opponent. You've got one gateway. What can you do, man?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is lights out.
Lights out.
One loses the oracle, but pretty crippling damage there. Cyan now up 8 workers, got a Nexus and the natural sort of Void Ray on the way. There's actually nothing Jieshi can do at the moment.
No, he's going to try and go Blink and DTs.
Went behind.
Yeah, Oracle's out. I mean, the DT Shrine's in the base. It's not even
He's going to fly over it and go, huh.
So
how quaint,
yeah.
how gauche.
I kind of feel like your best shot in these sort of games is to do like a 1-base 4-gate or something, you know, but you've got to be proxying like as soon as the cannon rush fails almost. Just because, like, it needs to be a surprise. It's going to be so late and delayed and awkward that it needs to be a surprise. Now, seeing that DT Shrine Robo does go down, Cyan going to play this out. So I mean, I kind of like the idea of going for the Cannon Rush. What I didn't like about the Cannon Rush is that he just showed the pylon. I don't know if Cyan's actually been checking the bottom of his ramp each game because Cannon Rush is so rare these days. So if they don't check down there, you can actually build the pylon out of vision, and then the first thing the defender sees is the two cannons going up in the low ground. Then you wall off with pylons as need be. And yeah, it's like obviously your first pylon's not in part of the wall off. It's not as useful a position, but the surprise factor is everything with the Cannon Rush. So I would have loved to see it. I mean, I like the variety. I love someone mixing in a Cannon Rush, but definitely one where Cyan's reaction was just a bit too good.
Yeah, it's heavily in the advantage here. Oracle coming in for another sweep, another ride by. Sees that the Dark Shrine's been cancelled.
So what do you think you do game 5 as Jieshi? You go back to standard play, you're trying to get the cheeky 3-1 here, right? You do end up giving away a map for it. Some players get frustrated in this circumstance, Maynard, and they do start to, you know, oh man, why'd I waste the map? So I think if you do this, you have to really be at peace with like, this might just get shut down and the game's basically over. Like if you play this style, you can't be like getting too frustrated over it not working out. So I'm hoping that Jieshi's in that solid mind state.
He's hoping. And I actually would be like a lot of these games, all of these games in the series have been quite strange, definitely unorthodox, but I would love to see a solid macro game for both players. Good stays toward the main base though. Gonna force Jieshi to all in. Target fire on that Void Ray takes one down. Going for the other one now. Mortal has arrived though, and yeah, that's it. GG.
Yep. Jieshi. Jieshi. GG.
That's right. You did it. 3rd time's the charm.
Jieshi.
Cyan takes it to the ace match.
Dude, that's awesome. That's so cool because this series has been madness. Blink DTs, Tempests, wild, weird oracles back and forth. Now, the one thing though that has remained solid throughout the entire series is every single game Cyan's played oracle. So I really feel like game 2 and game 3, Jieshi let himself down without having the good oracle defense, and yet still won game 3 out of those. So definitely has a shot. Now here's the moment where that probe, look at this, it was just very slow to put these pylons down on the high ground, and he needed to do that way earlier. So bit slow from Jieshi there to get those up, and the depowering of the cannons was effective. Part of me wondered if these cannons just focused the probes instead of the zealots faster. Notice how he killed like 2 probes there. He could have killed like 6 instead of focusing the zealot. So definitely something where maybe that would have made this a better transition and a possible transition for Jieshi.
Yeah. There definitely are options. There definitely are follow-ups to a cannon rush, even if it's a little bit botched. But it feels like that Oracle kind of put a nail in a lot of those reactions, and also just that, you know, a little bit of salt in the wounds. That initial zealot that just ran into the main base got a lot more damage than I expected. I think Jieshi didn't expect it either.
That zealot was just clipping him over the ear, man, just running through his base, going, "Yeah, no, idiot."
That That's like the gotcha nose kind of thing, you know?
Yeah.
Like, that's what that Zealot was doing. Gotcha nose. No! He's like, you already got my nose 3 times. How you only have 2 hands? This doesn't make sense.
Got your probe. Got your probe. What I would pay to have the ability for that, like, you know, it's like a voice pack, but you have sound effects that your opponent has to hear. That is how you monetize RTS in a big way, Maynard. I'm talking a pack where it's like every time you kill one of their things, it's like, yeah, you suck. They just hear that in their headphones.
There's a ton of games that have VoIP in them, and I'm just saying, like, it doesn't take a whole lot of engineering to get VoIP introduced into StarCraft, where you can have a unit basically say things in the vicinity of that unit, and as long as your units are nearby, you can hear it.
That would
just
be
like,
so sick, man.
Have a DT hanging out in the bush and just going, hey, 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 you want to buy a cigarette? You want to have a cigarette? I want to try a gateway drug. It's like one of the bad influence DT just trying to whisper into people's ears from the bushes.
Oh my god.
That's a good lesson for kids. Don't listen to those people, especially if they're invisible. And especially if they're invisible with a cape and a scythe. Never go near that person, ever. Stay at home, kids. Play
What
video
can I
games.
say, Maynard? You know, as soon as I have kids, once they're like 4 or 5, I'm putting them straight onto voice over internet with strangers on the internet in the gaming world. It's going to be a good idea.
Oh man, if and when I have kids, they are not touching that for a very long time. In the top left here from Good Game Gaming, this is Cyan. Pig, are you there?
Sorry, mate. There we
That's
go.
okay.
Down here in the bottom right side, in the blue, it's Dragon Phoenix Gaming's Jieshi. Berlingrad is such a short rush distance. We've seen a lot of people just die to a blink timing, killing their third on this map, and it escalating very quickly. So I'm a little sad we've got this as the final map to decide who's going to be going through and who's eliminated from the top 4, because this is the lower bracket match, man. There's no extra lives left available.
That's right. Final map to rule them all, and the loser of this final map will be out of the tournament until next season. So, you know, it's a big deal, this map. So a lot riding on it.
Cybercore going down 1 second earlier for Jieshi. We'll give him the very slightest of edges, but not too big of a deal, of course. And right now, we do see very similar builds. No hidden pylons or anything like that. Cyan did scout a bit earlier. Jieshi scouts a little bit later. But yeah, it's very straightforward so far. A little bit more gas mine for Cyan. So, I mean, that tells us, can you believe it, Maynard? He might be going for a Stargate.
Yeah, Cyan going Stargate?
Very surprising.
I know, huge shock.
It's almost like, yeah, part of me is like, if you know your opponent's going to go that, is it worth just playing Phoenix? Like, it maybe, I mean, obviously you need to be good with Phoenix play, but maybe it is actually worth just doing a like 3 or 4 Phoenix opening into your own Blink style from there. It's always a bit awkward in that case because your detection ends up so delayed and stuff, you know.
When the probe got recalled while it was getting zapped, and the zap got recalled all the way to the main base.
Bit of electricity got caught up there.
Yeah, didn't realize probes had 9,000 range. That's cool.
Heck yeah, man. I like it when the neural tentacle like bugs out.
Oh,
It
yeah,
looks like it's shooting across the map.
Oh, the spine crawler when it tries to hit something that recalls.
Oh,
it's just like,
yes.
Woo! Off it goes. This is a AAA game, by the way.
Dude, one base versus one base. Nexus now goes down at 250 for Jieshi. Pretty good timing. So it's once again going to be Blink up against Oracle opening. I mean, not the biggest surprises in terms of this. They're both just doing their most standard styles. Oh, that's DT Shrine. Never mind. That's a very quick Dark Shrine. So the idea here being he's going to be running DTs in by the Oracle gets in, by the time the Oracle walks in and sees this. So definitely a great way to take advantage of an Oracle player. This probe coming in for Cyan sees the gateways aren't building anything, sees some stalkers, no sentries. You gotta ask yourself, where is the gas? If there's no sentries and I haven't been hallucinate scouted by 3:30, I've just seen a few stalkers, you have to be aware that Dark Templar is an option, because where is your opponent's gas? Where is his tech?
Now, probe comes to the edge of the main base there. Out of range of seeing that pylon, though, which is a pretty nasty tell. He does see it.
Oh, Cyan's building a Phoenix. He thinks he's up against an Oracle play. That's where he thinks the gas is. He's assuming this is Oracle, mate.
Oh, man. Cyan is our reigning champion. Sure would suck to have a build order loss.
Dude, Jieshi got up 2-1 and now is trying to cheese him 2 games in a row. The Oracle's going to fly in, but it's taking so long.
Stalkers too.
Oh, no. He's building another Oracle as Cyan. That's very important right now. He sees the Dark Shrine. Recall that. Don't even use your energy, mate. Get it home for the detection, dude.
Yeah, he's got to bring it home.
Oh,
Quick
losing the
in a hurry.
Stalkers makes it really actually hard because now he's worried about the Stalkers. Does he have a battery here? Oh,
No
no battery.
Okay, there's one on the high ground here, so it looks like, I mean, Cyan is definitely in trouble. His countermeasures to the Stalkers not super great. He does have countermeasures to the DT, though.
Oh, and he's still
this
focusing on the counter damage.
Yep.
Okay, probes being pulled. He needs those. Very good play. Pulls back. Battery finishes. And he's got the Oracle on the high ground. Really well done here by Cyan. Getting 6 probes and defending. And he navigates the scary part of the game, Maynard.
Certainly does. A Twilit Conceal on the way for Cyan as well, as he starts to head up the tiers for the gateway units. His
I believe
Oracle,
it's called a Twiligit.
a Twiligit. It's called a Citadel of Adun. Or just a Citadel to the people that know what they're talking about.
Citadel of Aiden.
An Aiden. Oh my god. I know an Aiden. DT coming into the natural now. Here comes the Oracle for that Revelation. DT gets detected, but pulls back. Revelation might expire soon.
Still no battery, dude. Yeah, this is like really good, just abusive attack from Jieshi. He gets 4 probes, but he does lose some Stalkers. He's got to get out of there now, and the Oracle stasis trapping is natural as well, so he does end up, doesn't lose any probes. Okay.
Attempted. Feels like the board's kind of reset a little bit here with maybe Cyan like slightly ahead. So he's got a few more units.
Yeah, yep, definitely does feel that way. Part of me still wants him to build a shield battery on his natural just because it's made the last minute or so hard. But I think Cyan's like, screw it, dude. Let's get a third. You know, let's get all those pieces I need for the longer game. Jieshi's getting a Prism out and a third gas. Doesn't have a Forge. Neither player does. And it feels like it should cool down into 3-base versus 3-base. And we've seen so many games where wild aggression has just washed up on each other, done good damage, but it's an evenish trade. And yeah, like you said, it's very even.
Prism getting spotted, drops a Revelation. And those Oracles, again, like the pair of Oracles for Cyan, one of the deadliest things in PvP, along with a pair of Adepts. Oh, a little bit of a supply block there. It's got several pylons on the way.
I like the Phoenix. You know there's an early Prism out. Why not? Might as well. DT Prism's always a pain, so gonna go for his own proxy gateway. No Forge at all for Cyan, though, in this game.
I mean, I've never seen someone more prepared for a Warp Prism than Cyan.
Yep.
He is. This Prism ain't doing nothing.
Jieshi's like, back to the corner with you.
Yeah.
It's being revelated.
He has to wear the big cone, sit in the corner, and face the corner. Hey, Pupper.
That's Rufus.
Rufus the Doofus.
He's a good boy. Okay, well, we've got extra gateways on the way, but Jieshi's already got the third up a few seconds faster. Both sides are still in a very similar tech situation. Cyan has a much bigger army. If he can cancel the third, that would be huge, because remember, he doesn't have the upgrades. Jieshi's got a lot of gateways coming down, but they haven't kicked in just yet. Cyan's got that proxy gateway on the bottom, and a 13 army supply lead, which is huge here. Ooh.
That Prism, I feel so bad for it. It's like, oh.
Yeah.
It's the least successful Prism in the history of Prisms.
Bullied out of the game, man.
Wow, this third base is going to get bullied a little bit as well. Cyan with a lot of units here.
Oh, Oracles.
Oh, okay. Jieshi, good defense in the main base. Third base, though. Oh, target fire goes down the sentries.
Nice cancel on the third there. Cyan probing up behind it at a Forge. He's left the Observer at home. We always talk about this in PvP. If there's any chance of DTs, you always leave an Observer on your natural. Gives you plenty of time to respond, and that's exactly textbook defense by Cyan. He's really covering himself, making sure he does not lose from here.
A big advantage for Cyan now, and it looks like they're going to try to capitalize that and go for the win. The Oracles threaten the natural. Cannon forces them back. Another attempt at a third base up here to the north spot, just hoping Cyan doesn't see it. Oh!
Ooh,
Too late on the
very
probe pull there,
cute.
and the natural loses an Oracle, but stasis is pretty much every probe mining minerals.
Wow, dude, that income graph will get disgusting over the next few seconds. 3-1 income advantage in favor of Cyan.
Gross.
That is massive. 5 more gateways for him. He wants to hold down the Zealot key and just overrun Jieshi.
Look at this graph. Oh, man. And then your depth rest. These guys aren't going to do anything. There it is. Oh.
He still warps them in, dude. He still warps them in and always just pokes around with them. Cyan is at his most comfortable when he's got Oracles probing you. He's got Adepts shading in, looking for the opening all game long. And then he's going to just flood you over the front. He is adding a forge, so he's got upgrades. He doesn't need to all in to kill this third again. He's like, I'm up in probes this whole time. I can attack and overrun you with Zealots while adding upgrades. He could probably even take a 4th behind this.
We've seen Cyan do this before, where he's like really up far, like he's super far up economically, and he's like, I'm gonna go all in. And yeah, I don't think that's the case. Hopefully here for him, he's dropping a lot of pylons right now because he wants to go for a giant warp in to pressure.
Yeah, there's no way Jieshi can defend the amount of Zealots that will be closing in on him. Cyan's still got a 4th going up behind it. He's adding upgrades to catch up on that. Right now, it's only a 1 upgrade advantage. This +2 gives nothing to Jieshi right now. And there's not enough force fields. The blink forward is massive.
And the charge loss are doing an amazing job here at just the, you know, forcing back the Stalkers, making them all shoot these very tanking tier 1 units. The Stalkers on the right side still doing a ton of damage on the back line as well. Jieshi bleeding units. The 3rd base cannot go down again. And I think it might pig.
Yeah, the Zealots just swarming in. Cyan trading when he needed to, and just by keeping his opponent locked in 2 bases, he forces the checkmate. He says, you can't play 2 base versus 4 base. You have to defend this base. Jieshi, though, forced into a losing battle, trying to hold this ground and just unable to withstand the swarm of Zealots.
Yeah. He was doing all right at sort of trading there for a bit, using the funnels on the Zealots as they started to come through his pylon setup, but there's just too many units. The numbers are just not there for Jieshi, and they're absolutely there for the reigning champ. Cyan will not be excused in the round of 4. He will move